Hey gang, and welcome to Formula Drift's Inside Clips presented by Men's Journal for the week of July 20th. Congratulations to Chelsea Denofa taking his second win of the season in Erie, Pennsylvania. With laser focus and a mindset to chase like he was at a fun event, the Ford Mustang RTR driver got our pulses skyrocketing when he called his 5-minute competition timeout right before the finals. As he said, we had Osbo for the battle and we put a little more power in the car for him because the track was gaining traction. In the burnout box, our additional power calibration was off and it was breaking up. We would have called 5 regardless, it was needed to save the motor. He continued and said, could I have just driven off the line and not drifted the lap? Sure, that would be whack. Chelsea. So Chelsea is moving from his win in Erie and heading to Monroe, Washington, to a track that, in his words, typically doesn't do well there. And he told me, I just never really feel comfortable at that track. Something about it doesn't flow, and I'm constantly searching for that feeling of a lap I'm happy with. I have driven it in many different cars, and exiting the bank and the transition into outer 2 never feels right with the line we're supposed to drive. Obviously, we will try and figure this out this time. Chelsea, I'm sure you'll do great. Best of luck. Round 4 was a brand new venue and track for Formula Drift, and the insanity started early as we had a list of drivers missing from action. Most notable, Justin Pollock, who made one pass in practice, and as he lined up for his next lap, he suffered a mechanical, and unfortunately, his day was done. Federico Sciarrifo, who during the Englishtown round advanced into the top 16 in his first time in Formula Drift USA, made the difficult decision to not attend Erie, and he explained why on his Instagram page. However, the great news is that the effervescent Italian driver will be back in action in Monroe with the gorgeous Ferrari named Fiorella. And with a smile that lit up his face, he said that he couldn't wait to get back to the Seattle area and compete and spend some time with those awesome fans. Ryan Littoral did not start the event, and we just found out that his trailer was broken into this past weekend and over $15,000 worth of equipment were stolen. Guys, maybe we can all Venmo him a few dollars to help. Ryan, I'm so sorry. And Trenton Beecham, 2019 Pro 2 champion, had a DNS due to car issues, which he's been suffering from since Orlando, which is also why they rented Matt Field to S14 for FD New Jersey. So the young gun told me this. We have been dealing with a crazy hydraulic release bearing issue for the clutch that's constantly causing the release bearing to overextend or not extend far enough, where then it malfunctions inside the bell housing, which forces us to take the whole transmission, drive shaft, etc. out in order to just fix the issue temporarily again. So in Erie, they ran into this clutch issue again on the last lap of the first dry practice and decided to miss the second practice session, work on the car, and concentrate on qualifying. On the way to quali, the car died and it wouldn't start for over 10 minutes. Then the clutch failed once they arrived at the burnout box. The team rushed to fix the issues, but after having 0 rain practice, he found himself getting more grip in the second outer zone, which surprised him, caused him to straighten on his second qualifying run, resulting in 2 zeros. But even after all that, I have no doubt this lion-hearted driver will be ready to go in the next round. As he said, we will be back for FD Seattle with the Mustang better than ever and ready to drive her as hard as possible to make up for the last 4 rounds. So, speaking of Friday in knockout qualifying with heavy rain, during this time we saw 3-time champion Chris Forsberg abort his first qualifying run due to mechanical issues, but he got another chance to put down a lap, which moved him into the 27th spot. On Saturday, we saw him make it to the line and then had an early exit against Odi Bakchis in top 32 due to the throttle body issues that's been plaguing him this year. Chris sent a note to us saying, we have tried several fixes, but we have now eliminated the electronic throttle body and we have a mechanical cable unit in place. We're ready to have a solid car all weekend in Monroe. Moving further along in the show, there were 2 controversial calls that were made in Erie. The first one occurred in the Grade 8 as Odi Bakchis faced Von Gittin Jr. In Odie's lead run, we watched as the two made contact, and ultimately, the call swung in Vaughn's favor, advancing him into the Final Four, eliminating Odie and dropping him from second place in the current championship point standings down to fourth. So gang, I have seen your reactions online, and I wanted to let you know that I am digging into this situation with the purpose to gather more information for an in-depth discussion in the near future, so there's more to come. As Vaughn Gittin Jr. advanced into the Final Four, he chased Frederick Osbo on the first run. As the two drivers reversed the order, Vaughn put down a signature aggressive lead run, and Osbo in the chase position started to lose proximity. Vaughn in outside zone 3 and nearing the finish line over-rotated and then straightened, which is considered an incomplete run for a lead car, resulting in a 0. Osbo was awarded the win because when a lead driver incompletes first, it means the run is now over and the chase driver doesn't have to finish the run. Formula Drift instituted this rule for safety reasons because the chase driver can't be expected to drift around a downed or spun vehicle. In this case, the judges didn't need to know why Osbo stopped drifting, only that Vaughn incompleted first, which ended the run. We've learned that Osbo's Supra suffered a snapped coilover shaft, and Frederick told us the shock came apart and the springs fell out, the same thing that happened in Atlanta, but this time not due to side loads. We had an error in the suspension design that we corrected after Atlanta. This time, we think it's due to repeatedly bottoming up. It says a lot about how violent these cars are when gripped and in race trim. The story wasn't over as we watched Vaughn approach Frederick while he was sat in his car, and Frederick said, "The truth was, I didn't shut down just because my car was broken. Then I would have done it a lot sooner. The car broke on the run-up, but I also got lost in the smoke when he spun and went to the inside in turn 3. Anyway, in the end, it didn't matter what I would have done because his incomplete voided the run regardless." He received a lot of criticism for coming over to us like that when we were fixing the car, but I didn't mind, and I told him he can talk to me anytime. But it disturbed my crew guys more than me in a critical 5 to 7 minute repair job where we were trying to get ready to go against one of his car in the final. But he apologized, and there's no hard feelings. My take on the whole situation is that stuff like this needs to happen. It only shows how passionate we all are. Personally, I did see some comments online, and I wanted to clarify to everyone that Vaughn didn't speak to Osbo to try to intimidate him before the battle with the RTR teammate Chelsea DeNofa, because Vaughn said, "No, absolutely not. Besides the fact Chelsea doesn't need any help. I was only thinking about confirming that Frederick shut down because his car broke, not because of my mistake." Moving forward to Monroe, Vaughn said, "Same old story here with regards to approach. Show up focused, dial the car in, and take it one battle at a time. I can't wait." Best of luck to everyone at Monroe. I won't be there as I'm attending my stepson's wedding, and I'm gonna miss you all so much, but you'll be in great and experienced hands with Jen Horsey getting the inside scoop for the broadcast. Lastly, a very special shout out to my Auntie Brenda and my sweet friend, Charlotte Abbott. I love you both very much. And to everyone, be bold, be humble, and I hope you kick some ass this week. Love y'all.